Thank you. I have a lady with me now, so I just told that man to move right on. I have a lady with me now, and I want to tell you that when I look at this lady, she has got a very earthy look about her. I do see freckles on her face. I also want to tell you too that I do feel like I have a lady here that died from disease, so I feel like I've got somebody that had cancer. I feel like it's cancer. I also want to tell you too that her hair is just very straight. She's very plain looking. I feel like this lady would not have wore any makeup. I also want to tell you too that she wasn't heavy, but she wasn't thin. I just feel like I've got a lady that would have some good sustenance to her, but she would not have been heavy. I also want to tell you too that I do not feel like this is family for anybody. She's talking about a friend that she wants to connect with here tonight, and I feel like that she would have had a strong connection with the person to whom she wants to come forward for. She was not very vocal when she was alive. She was very unassuming, and I feel like she had a quiet side to her, but she was quite intelligent. I feel like that there was some intelligence with this lady. Does anybody understand? Possibly. You as well. Okay, do you both understand everything that I have said thus far? You both understand everything I said thus far? All right, I got to get something here and try to narrow it down. I will say that I do feel like I'm connected to you with this, so but just let me kind of move through this. Thank you, I understand. Would either one of you understand about this lady, please? I feel like too that she would have, this thing about her being unassuming, she would have kept to herself. She would have been in her house by herself a lot. She would not have gone out and socialized quite a bit. Not that she was shy, but it just wasn't her bag. I feel like that she had a very, very quiet side to her, and she's talking to me about this. But I'm asking her, I told her, I said, I got two ladies here that think that they can take you, but she is telling me that she would have shared a lot of laughter with the person that she is connected to. Do either one of you understand that? Yes? No. I thought I was over here with you. May I work with you on this, please? You understand everything I said thus far, the way she looks. Was her hair red, please? Did it have a reddish kind of brown color to it? You understand that? And you understand how this would be a friend of yours, please, and I do not feel like it's family. Does that make sense to you? And you understand the passing from cancer as well. Do you understand that? Okay. I also want to tell you about this lady. I feel like she was very fond of animals. Do you understand that? And I feel like she would have had animals around her. Does that make sense to you, please? Because she's talking about it, and she's also telling me that she's got animals with her in the spirit world, and there's quite a few around her. Would you have an understanding of that, please? Okay. I also want to say, too, that you knew her for a very long period of time. Do you understand that? You knew her from like when you were much younger, and you all stayed in connection with each other for quite a while. Does that make sense to you, please? I also want to tell you, too, that she's telling me, and I feel like I had this the last time I was here. She's telling me that at times the two of you could get kind of in trouble. Do you understand that? And what I'm and I'm just going to flat out say it. The last time I was here, I made a reference to smoking, but do you understand this? She's telling me that you would have partied, but she was still very quiet and unassuming. Do you understand that? But I also want to say that when she did party, she came out of her shell a little bit. Do you understand that? And I feel like, too, that she would have said things that she shouldn't have been saying, and it would have embarrassed people. Does that make sense to you, please? You understand? I also want to tell you, too, that I feel that she had a young boy around her. Would you have an understanding of that, please? Like a child or a boy that would have been close to her. Do you understand that? And would you understand, please, you still have some kind of connection with him? Do you understand that? Or you communicate with him? Does that make sense to you? Okay. She's coming forward and she wants to bring a lot of love forward for that child. Do you understand that? Not that he's a child now. He's somewhat grown now, but he would have been a child that would have been around her. Do you understand that? And she's telling me that you still have connection with him, and she wants to pass that on to him. Do you understand? And do you also understand about her doing a lot of reading for this child, please? Like, I feel like she would have opened picture books, and of course, parents do that, I get that. But I feel like that this was something that she did quite frequently and quite regularly with this kid. Do you understand that? And she's telling me that you would have knowledge of this. Do you understand that? I also want to tell you, too, that I get this very earthy kind of smell with her. Would you understand that? Like a patchouli or a vetiver kind of a smell. Do you understand that? She was kind of like a hippie. And she had this hippie kind of quality about her. Do you understand that? And I feel like that she either would have wore like those really ugly shoes that lesbians wear. What are they? Birkenstocks. So she would have wore like those kind of things on her feet. Do you understand that? Does that make sense to you? Okay, because she's showing me her feet and I see that. Does that make sense to you, please? She would have been like, her colors would have been lots of greens and lots of earthy colors. I don't feel like that she was a very vibrant lady with her dress, but she was very earthy. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand the name Sandra or Sandy in association with her, please? No? I'm just hearing that name as I'm connected to her. If that doesn't make sense to you, I'm going to leave that with you, but I'm hearing that name, and the way she gave that to me is she showed me Olivia Newton-John doing the Sandy thing in Greece. Okay? That's how I got that from her. Okay. Would that make any sense to you? Oh, that does make sense to you. Okay, well, I'm glad that I said that. So you understand that connection that she would have had with that name Sandy or that movie, please. Okay, I should have just said that out of the gate, David. Why didn't I say that? Because she's talking to me about that. And she's quite like she's wondering why you're here. She's trying to figure out what's going on with you and why you are here. And she's like, because I don't feel like that you ladies would have talked about these kind of things when she was alive. Do you understand that? It was more about partying and that type of a thing. And I also want to tell you too, and I'm not just saying this because of the whole hippie thing. I see. You know how people used to put flower appliques on the walls and that kind of a thing? Do you understand that about her, please? You do. Okay, good, because I'm seeing like these yellow appliques that are stuck on the wall, and I feel like that her house would have had that kind of a vibe to it because she was not very colorful and her personality was not very colorful. She wanted her surroundings to be colorful to kind of lift her up. Do you understand that? Okay. I want to tell you that when she's telling me that when she passed, this was quite a surprise to you. Do you understand that? It like came out of nowhere. You did not know that she was ill. I feel like she kept her illness to herself and she didn't share it with many people. Do you understand that? And then when she did pass, people were kind of surprised because she was not very vocal about what was going on with her and her illness. Do you understand that? She's very, very fond of you. She's very, very fond of you. And I feel like that she's close to you. And she's and watching what's going on with you. And she's also saying to me, girl, you just need to get off your ass and go do what you're going to do. Do you understand why she would say that to you, please? Yeah. Okay, because she's telling you that now. Because the other thing that I want to tell you about her is she's telling me that you used to talk to her all the time about your dreams and your desires and the things that you wanted to do. And I feel like that this had to do something with creativity. Do you understand that? You either wanted to be an artist or there's something that you wanted to do in that respect. And I feel like that she's saying, you can still do that. She's telling me that you can still do that because you're like, I'm too old now. Do you understand that? And she's telling me, no, girl, you're not. You're wiser now. Now is the time, is what she's saying. Does that make sense to you why she would say that to you, please? She's also telling me too that do you have something of hers that she used to wear on her wrist, please? I feel like you either have it or something has been said about that very recently about her. I feel like there was something she wore around her wrist. She's talking about something she wore around her wrist, and it wasn't like a metal bracelet or anything. It was like a knotted piece of something that she would have wore. Do you have any knowledge of that, please?
Maybe at some point, yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll take maybe. I want you to know that this lady, I like her. She was very unassuming. But when she did party, she got that kind of, it was kind of like, I don't want to use Jekyll and Hyde. That's not a good reference. But she kind of had a different personality when she would get herself spun up. Do you understand what I'm saying? And she would talk and she would be a little more vibrant. And she's telling me that she loved those days with you when she was moving through all of that. Do you understand that? Okay, just know that she is close to you and she's very, very interested in the things that are going on with you right now, and she wants to be with you as you're moving through that, okay? Okay, thank you for letting me bring that to you. All right, give me just a minute.